guys, it's Glenn from Glenn'sCarCollection.com, and guess what we're driving today? One of my favorite cars, the BMW M4 Convertible. So this is the last generation M4. This is the turbocharged 6-cylinder rear drive car. The new ones are obviously all-wheel drive and have the big ugly grills. What we love about this car is it has this small grills. This is one of my favorite colors. If I had to pick a color that's not blue, it is black sapphire. Now, my usual shooting location isn't available today, so that's why we have to kind of do this on the side of the road. You got to make do sometime. Gorgeous car, and this is a competition. How do we know it's a competition? It has these wheels, so you get a little extra horsepower. We'll go over horsepower and torque in the video. As far as the engine goes, beautiful color combo here. You got the black sapphire. That was the color of my Z3 M Coupe if you follow the channel. This nice brown interior. I don't know what they call it. Somebody comment below, but it is gorgeous. You have your M4 sill here. Just like my M2, you pull it twice to open it up. And you'll see that 3-liter inline 6. There's no secondary latch. That's why you pull it twice. You got the carbon fiber here, turbocharged motor producing, in competition, guys, if I remember correctly, 425 horsepower, 406 foot-pounds of torque. This has torque in every gear. You can overwhelm the tires in first, second, and third. And so let's now to close it. You got to close it a little hard. You push it down here. And there it is, closed. Now, trunk space. Trunk space isn't the best. People tell me you could fit golf clubs here, and in the E93 convertible, I'm not convinced. So if you're golfers, let me know. This is the top down. With the top up, you have the partial shelf that can go up one, and you actually have side room. This has to stay here for hardware, but with this glasses underneath that, you could probably supposedly put the golf clubs. You have the backup camera here. Who were we thanking for this beautiful car on a sunny day like this in New Jersey? BMW of Tenafly. Thanks so much, guys, for providing the car. They're also providing us with an M8 competition convertible. Not sure which video you'll see first. So let's get inside. Again, beautiful interior. Now, BMW has copied Mercedes. There's a car coming, so forgive me. Where this could be a neck scarf, blow hot air on your neck, which would be fantastic on a cold night. All right, so what we're going to do is put our seatbelt on. We'll start the car. We're going to put the roof up just for this video review, just because there's still a lot of wind noise here, just like any convertible. Start it up. S55 engine roars to life. Keep the parking brake on. Lift this up. And this is how we're going to push it down now to close the roof. And they'll do the windows itself. Am I doing it the wrong way? Up, it's not locked. There we go. I did it the wrong way. So you want to pull up as if you're putting the top up. I don't know if you could see behind us here in the mirror, but it is coming up. There we go. There we go. All right, so I don't know how many seconds that took. 15? I don't know. Somebody comment below. All right. Now, the tricky part, and I always forget this with these cars on the dual clutches, there's no parks. Oops, and I actually hit the heat and I could feel it on my head. So I'm going to take the heat off on the seats here, because it's still warm in New Jersey the day I'm filming this in October. So there's no park. This is a dual clutch transmission. It's like a manual essentially, because you don't have park. You leave it in first or reverse. So same thing here. When you shut it off, you put it in drive, or you go up and left for reverse. So those are the two ways of doing it. All right, so it's very easy to use. You have a nice backup camera here. You have a lot of adjustments, which is really cool. So you can get, I got to get going in first here. So it just takes us off the camera, I believe. Once we're off the camera, it'll, all right, so now we'll pull over just to see everything here, because the camera's going to override everything. So you got your regular iDrive, which is pretty easy to use. One of the better ones out there, I think, anyway. And now we could play with the sport button. Let's go into the menus here. I had this all set up before, and I don't know why it's not working now. So it's actually on the inside of the car here. That's why. My car is in the menus, and that's how it'll be on the M8. So you can go into, you can do suspension, Sport Plus Sport. We're going to do comfort just so we don't have a lot of bumps in the video here. We could do the steering, Sport Plus. It's just an artificial heaviness to it. Remember, it is electric steering, and then you can essentially adjust everything here. You know, throttle, Sport, efficient. So we're going to do Sport in that, Sport in the shocks, and let's do Sport in the steering. These are your electronic nannies, lane keeping. I hate all this stuff, so I shut it off. Your mirror controls are down here, power windows. You can actually do, I believe, the rear. This gets you both windows down at once instead of individually, because you have a convertible. You might want to do that, but the convertible top will do it anyway. You have the stop-start button here. This is a dual clutch, so the 7-speed dual clutch, and you have the paddle shifters. The paddle shifters feel nice, good to the touch. They're big, kind of on the skinny side. I probably wish they were a little bigger or carbon fiber, but they look really good, and you have a lot of options for that. So these are your Bluetooth controls. I don't see a heated steering wheel here. Oh, the heated steering wheel might be on the side. Let's see. Yes. So on my M2, they had the heating steering wheel on the side. Now on my M340, they have the bottom, which should be easy to use instead of you always searching for it. You might not even know that you have it. Then you can set your M buttons with all your settings. So this way, if you're driving along, you want to be an M1 or M2, you can set the throttle response and everything there. And the suspension settings at once. So they're kind of like hard buttons to do that. All right, so let's go for a spin. All right, here we go. In the dual clutch BMW M4, the last generation hardtop convertible. Now, this is known as the F83, so the four-door sedan, which is only the M3, the four doors, is the F80. F82 is the two-door M4, and because this is a two-door convertible, hardtop convertible, it's still an M4, two doors M4, so it is known as the F83. This dual clutch transmission is really, really good. You know, my lease is up in my M340i X-Drive June 1st of 2023, and I've really seriously been thinking of getting one of these cars for the summer. I think you can't go wrong. You can get them with manual, or this dual clutch is really good, and it's a powerful, fun car. And I like the idea of a hardtop convertible. These cars are pretty heavy to begin with. I believe the hardtop convertible adds so much power here. Adds about 400 pounds, maybe a little more than that, but it hides its weight really well. You're not going to take this to the track or autocross, a heavy hardtop convertible, but driving on the street, it does a pretty convincing job of hiding it. Dump trucks are everywhere. Construction's going on everywhere. And I really like it in the dual clutch. The dual clutch is great if you want that for a daily driver. Now, my M340i X-Drive, of course, is a torque converter automatic. All right, so this will be a good spot to do a little bit of an acceleration. Now, this car is so powerful with that 406 foot-pounds of torque, it can actually overwhelm the car first, second, third gear, which I think is really cool. It's really fun to drive because it's all-wheel drive. Yes, it's kind of on the heavy side. I think these cars are bargains now in today's market, because if you want a rear drive M4, it's you could get it in stick shift or the automatic, the rear drive. If you want the stick shift, it has to be rear drive, and you're going to be like 85,000, somewhere in there. If you want all-wheel drive, you can only get the automatic, and you're probably at 95,000 once you add options. So you can get these in the 60,000 range. I've even seen high 50s. This one only has 13,300 miles on it, and I think it's a fantastic car for the money. What's happening is a lot of people are trading these cars in, so the prices are depressed temporarily, but because this makes so much more power and tunable than your E92 M3 with that naturally aspirated V8, which is in itself is a great car, it's nowhere near as fast as this one. So I think this car will live with enthusiasts for a long time. It'll have its day in the sun with going up in value. So I really believe now is one of the great times to buy it. Markets will always fluctuate, so there'll be other times too. But I think now that everybody's infatuated with the new one and kind of getting used to the big grills, here you have a small grill car that you could use, get for around 60 grand, give or take, and it'll probably hold its value for a very long time. I don't see these cars being in the 40s anytime soon. So if these cars stay in the 50s or something like that, I think you're going to have a fantastic car to drive for years to come. And they've proved to be reliable. As long as you don't mod them, then you have to worry about the crank hub and all that other stuff. But they're very, very reliable cars. All right, so now to drive in manual mode, we're going to click it over to the right. And now we see the gear shifts here telling us what gears we're in. And we can downshift. If you drive in automatic mode, it'll get you in 7th gear as soon as possible. So here we are in 3rd gear. We could even probably brake a little bit, go down to 2nd, and now give you an acceleration. Dual clutch is seamless. It really is. It's a fantastic transmission. I do like driving this in stick shift as well. It's so easy to drive stick now because these cars essentially don't stall. They don't roll back on hills. So the biggest challenges you had as a kid learning to drive stick are taken out of the equation. So even though it's certainly, the stick shift is significantly slower for sure, but I do love it in a manual. But as a daily, I wouldn't mind the dual clutch at all if I found the right color. Yes, Marina Blue. Or, you know, I like colors. But this, if I wasn't picking a black color, it would be, I'm sorry, if I wasn't picking a bright color, it would be black sapphire. My Z3 M Coupe was black sapphire, and I thought that car looked absolutely amazing. And with this brown interior, it's a stunning color combo. All right, now while we're stuck behind this dump truck, I'll show you a couple things in the transmission. If we push it to the right, it gives us in manual mode. Now we'll only see the gear. Pushing it to the left, pushing it back again to the right would give us drive. And now it'll shift for itself like it's automatic transmission, even though it is a dual clutch. It's not a torque converter. It will try to be as efficient as possible. So here we're going 35 miles an hour. It's in fourth gear. I bet you by the time we get to about 40, 45, fifth gear, it's going to have us up to seventh gear. So 40, we're already in sixth gear. Try to eke out the best gas mileage as possible. If you drive these cars the way I would drive them, of course, you're not going to get very good gas mileage. These cars are about performance. And to me, this is still a sports car. It just hides its weight so well. This is probably the first time in any BMW generation that I would consider getting the convertible. Oh my goodness. Wow. He just ran the light. My camera stuff went all over the place. So you have good brakes, but you can't stop idiots. Why would he do that? Bad drivers always cut you off. They always cut you off. You know, a good driver will wait and see this car is coming, the speed limit, he's coming right in front of me, why would I go? Bad drivers who are texting, reading, looking at their phones would just cut right in front of you. Okay, all right. Well, that's another reason to have good brakes. I always believe that brakes are just important. People mod their cars, go with sticky tires. You need to upgrade the brakes as well because brakes are just so important. Now, I think these will be very reliable cars. This one is certified pre-owned. You can pick this up from BMW Tenafly today. Check out their website. They always have cool M4s, M3s, certified pre-owned, M5. I'm seriously considering one of these, again, when my lease is up in June, or maybe a 2018 certified M5. I think that would be a great real estate car. I'd love to get the new M3 at some point. Hopefully when prices don't get too crazy. They sell the new M3 and M4 at MSRP. I believe there's a year wait, but they don't overcharge for any car, and that's what I love about them. I bought my 2020 M340i xDrive from BMW Tenafly and got a great deal, and I'm sure you will too. And if you're watching this long, guys, you should be a subscriber. Remember to like and share and subscribe to my channel. Two things that really help me out on the YouTube algorithm are liking and commenting. It's free to do so. Say, hi, Glenn, like the car. Let me know in the comments what car you want me to review next. When we get enough people saying it, I'll go out and make it happen. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time.